Biscuits and gravy made me a man. Oh, biscuits and gravy made me all that I am. Ain't no ham and egger, something you've always been. Biscuits and gravy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the morning show, the Biscuits and Gravy Morning Show. My name is Beatbox Jake. That is why. So I hope you're all having a good morning. I know we just woke up. I have my apparently empty tea mug. I forgot to make tea. Do we have anybody to make tea? No? Can't you send one of the cameramen? They're not doing anything. I got a webcam. Okay, never mind. So, again, hope you're all doing well. We're going to be talking about some odd news stories and stuff like that. It's going to be a good time. What? This music is a little too rowdy for this morning. A little early for that shit. Says me, who has already been listening to classic death metal from New York. Great band called Immolation, if for any metalheads out there. They kind of took the death metal style and slowed it down a bit, made it a bit more eerie. You know, it might be, if you're a metalhead, it might be something to wake up to. It's not too crazy, kind of eases you into the blast beats. But I'm not the only one here today. We have somebody who is pretty key in my life right now, Mr. the Cody himself.
Hi. How we doing this morning?
How are you now? Welcome to the Breakfast Live podcast featuring biker mice from Mars.
Big boy radio voice right there.
Dude, I would love to get the biker mice from Mars on this fucking podcast. Them, the Mighty Ducks, and Street Sharks would be great.
That would be awesome. Not gonna lie. No, I'm still in recovery mode. Fucking 2 days later from Saturday. What an awesome night.
Fucking me too.
I was like, dude. There's some
should I
pictures
say
swirling
hashtag?
around. I promise I have a twin brother. I promise. That was not me.
I can confirm that. It's actually a real doll of Cody that's walking around acting like him.
Yeah, not
No,
acting
real
like, I would
doll.
not act in such a way, shape, or form.
Yeah, me neither. If you see videos of me screaming more than Klep, even that I was not in my right mind. I had just gone through a recharging session in the house, staying away from people, went a little too long, had some excess energy to put out. What up? I'm a hypermaniac.
Nonetheless, it was awesome. Shout out to everybody that was at the Inch on Saturday. That was so much fun. Everybody,
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Thank you to Sticky for coming out.
Hell yeah.
Just Sticky was a fucking awesome dude. Really nice guy.
Mhm.
I think he just gave me a shirt at the end of the night. It's in my car.
Yep. I got a shirt and a CD, and I was like, all right, dude. And then a sticker. Put the sticker up on my stuff, and yeah, he was pretty sweet.
Yeah, good dude. Biokillers killed it. I was saying it to you that I feel like if there were two stages going on and D12 was on the other one, their crowd might be a little empty.
Yeah, I'll agree. Those guys are just, there's not very many that I take a lot of pride in my performance. There's not very many that I would put ahead of me. And those guys are one of them as far as energy and just crazy.
Mhm.
That is hip hop. That is what hip hop is.
Just even Klep getting behind Saint for that one song and then popping out, surprise, bitch, it's Klep.
Well, it was amazing. They do a good job, and they put a lot of work into their live show. I love it.
Yeah, that time that he choked Autumn, which is his wife, by the way, for anybody listening, he came out from like the stage area and like not knocked her to the ground, but sort of tripped her onto the ground.
Fucking tackled her.
Yeah, like started choking her, and she was acting a little too into it for my taste, but she finished the lyric like it was clearly staged. He wasn't actually attacking his wife. She finished the lyrics for a line, and it was so well put together. So good. So good. I would love to see that done again. I don't know.
Behind
about
the
her.
scenes, she didn't even know that was going to happen. She didn't know she was getting taken down.
She didn't. Oh, well, he told me it sounded like it was planned, but he went a little too hard on it, and
Mhm.
she felt a bit winded.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
good for show though. That was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely fantastic. She's such a sweet person. Like you would. There's certain things. There's people in the world where you like. There's certain things you don't say to that person, right? Like I would
Right.
never. I would probably never. That's not true. I've said some raunchy shit to her and she thinks it's funny. But like if you don't know her, you would probably think not to say that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the same thing. You don't go up to Mr. Rogers and start talking about blowjobs. It just doesn't work that way.
I mean, you
know?
could, but
You totally could. And he'd be like, now what you need is to be watching my program and we'll clear up those sins. Or some shit like that. That's probably not what he would say. He'd be more accepting, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But regardless, really cool people all the way around. Sorry, my voice is like halfway here still. I apologize to everybody watching this right now. My voice is just
yeah. See,
I feel like I got choked by Club.
I'm surprised that my voice is like at 100% right now. I have no idea how I'm talking easily right now.
Yeah, I'm burnt.
Yeah. Shit, how long have we been going? Only 7 minutes?
Oh yeah.
This is great.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be a good cast.
Yes, we need to get to some. I think it's about time we get to some of your odd news articles. What are you thinking?
I'll tell you what I think. So this was recently spotted in Minneapolis. A local lovesick goth looks longingly at a pair of crows eating spilled Funyuns.
That's newsworthy.
That is newsworthy. It's local. It's local shit. It's local happenings. It's not like there's a new war on the horizon or anything important like that. It's local shit.
Okay.
And when you're filming, when you're doing local news in a town that's worthy of a Hallmark movie, there's not going to be a whole lot going on.
That's true.
Yeah. So that was one. I mean, what do you think about? I mean, if you're a goth and you're looking at crows, like first off, being goth, you probably have some kind of an affinity with crows. But if you're going to be just waiting and watching them eat Funyuns, you know that shit's not good for those birds.
No.
Intervene.
You should try to maybe make them stray away. That's just depressing, but I mean, it goes with the territory.
Yeah. I mean, what do crows eat?
Animals?
Probably.
Dead animals?
Crows eat? Because, I mean, birds are horrifying creatures.
They can be. That's for sure.
Omnivores. They will eat. Okay, so both plants and food and animals.
So,
yeah, everything from seeds to snakes. I'm vegan, but only on Wednesdays.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah. Fuck you, Karen. Get out of my neighborhood. There's this dude. I think his YouTube channel is Scrubby, but he's got a separate channel called Scrubs, and there's a series of videos on there called the Karen Saga, and it's about his neighbor who he refers to as Karen, damn near trying to like get him to move the fuck out.
What?
Like,
that's awesome.
It's horrible. Like,
I have never had. I was fortunate enough that I've never had one of those neighbors. Thank God.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I take that back. We had this really big alcoholic that lived next to us at one point in time. And like the chick I was with had 2 kids. And like they're still running through the house. It wasn't like late or nothing, but this dude was constantly calling the fucking landlord. And it's like, bro, just drink your beer and go to bed. We know what you do with your days. And ultimately we ended up getting kicked out.
Well, that one went out the window, I guess.
Yeah. Fuck.
So here's another one. Elon Musk admits that he wants to travel to Mars because no one hates him there yet. I think he's joking because he's pretty well liked here.
For the most part, yeah. You got the few haters, but you're gonna have them everywhere, especially when you're fucking rich as fuck.
Yeah, I will say that whole Neuralink idea, because he's going to want to connect that to the internet. He says it's more for helping with ailments and stuff like that. That thing's going to get connected to the internet at some point. And if you've ever played Cyberpunk 2077, you know why the fuck that is a bad idea. In that game, you can look at somebody, hack their brain stem. It's not their brain stem. I don't remember what it's called, but cause them to have a seizure and die.
What the fuck?
Same thing. You can also look at them and choose to make them shoot themselves or go blind for a bit. Or like, there's plenty of reasons in that video game alone to not connect your brain to the internet.
Yeah, that's just a total bad idea all the way around.
Yeah.
I could see it happening, though. I could see that happening. With the way everything's going, fuck.
Now, if you... I would like to be able to download a bunch of music into my brain. That would be dope. Just have it playing.
Yeah.
All the time.
I've seen, I don't trust them. And maybe it's just because, like, I'm like middle age, I guess you could say. Not really middle age, but getting up there. You know those headphones that go into like your fucking temples?
Oh, yeah, the bone conducting ones.
So fucking weird. I don't trust that shit.
I've used them. They're not bad.
They're not bad. I don't know. I just don't trust
it.
Weird. Yeah, that's one thing, and you can't believe everything everybody tells you. I'm not trying to come off as fucking like conspiracy theory Joe Rogan here, but
hey man, elk meat. That's all you need.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Elk meat and LSD. That's all we need.
LSD, yeah,
and DMT.
Okay. Sounds like a fun time.
That's basically Joe Rogan in a nutshell, isn't it? As far as stereotypes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
And a big stoner. Big stoner.
Yeah. I mean, he seems like a good dude. And he's the first comedian I ever came across that I had to take breaks from his Netflix special because I couldn't breathe.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Pretty no holds barred.
Yeah. I think I had to stop it 4 times and just go stop, get a drink of water, come back. I was laughing my ass off. It was great.
That's amazing. Hell yeah.
Here's another local one. Buffalo, New York. A new father is suspicious of his wife and his black metal loving neighbor because his baby was born with corpse paint.
With corpse paint?
Yeah. You know what corpse paint is?
Oh,
God.
Give me an explanation.
So it's like the kind of base paint that's normally associated with metal, but it's really a black metal thing.
I know what you're talking about. It's kind of like
Simmons from Kiss. The way he does his paint is very similar.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're getting at then. That's fucked up.
The baby was born with that shit on its face. I'm like, you are not going to be able to listen to jazz and be taken seriously. I'm just saying.
No, you might as well just you were born a metalhead. Just take it all in.
Yeah. Which, it's good.
It's not a bad problem to have.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. So this is in Eugene, Oregon. So the last LimeWire user, last person to be using LimeWire, he got home to his apartment and found Lars Ulrich sitting there with a silenced pistol waiting for him.
I know you got some funny articles, but why does that sound like it could be true as fuck?
No, dude,
God damn it, Lars.
I don't have anything against Lars. I mean, he was fighting for what he felt was right back then with what the fuck was it called? Napster.
Yeah. Oh, Napster. Yeah. And then there was another one too that they went after. I'm pretty sure it was Napster and Morpheus, maybe. I think it was called Morpheus. It's old. Yeah, I'm old.
Oh my God. God forbids an Amish metalhead to be anything but a drummer.
What the fuck?
Because the drums are the only thing that doesn't use electricity. That's what's going on there. That's ridiculous.
We had like an inside joke about that we're not Amish, obviously. They don't have nothing to do with the Amish, but we were going to for the rebellion when Alex loads his drums in, we're gonna tell him that we forgot our drum cords just to see if the sound man will go try to find us drum cords.
Dude, I fell for the new guy hazing. So I was a fluid technician at a CNC machine shop, and my boss, who is also my friend, he told me to go find him dehydrated water.
You fell for that?
I fell for it. I was like, he fucking knows more than I do. I'm sure it's around here somewhere.
Oh, dude, if you ever get we have a couple that we have a couple of different things we do at the place that I'm at. One is looking for a left-handed broom. We go to, or we'll tell like the new guy, like, hey, go over to the maintenance man, ask the maintenance man to lead you to the basement. Keep in mind, like, the factory is just concrete. There's no fucking basement in there.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the maintenance guy will go with it. Like, they go, yeah, we'll show you, and then just basically call him a dumbass. I'm like, I got a very stern boss. I heard this story, because the hazing thing, that happens to all new employees everywhere, pretty much, unless you're lucky. Most of the time, like, working in a factory, like, I've kind of learned some of their shit, so it's just like, you're stupid, shut the fuck up. But what was the one? They were telling me a story before I had gotten to this where I'm at now. They used to, because we're a distribution, I'm in a distribution center for furniture and stuff. So we have to like slap on like UPS labels or FedEx. So when it ships out. Well, my boss is a really big, stern, like almost like alpha male type guy. Like, just, you know what I'm saying? He walks it like he talks it. And my dude at work told me that they had a new guy. He didn't last very long. But for the UPS stickers, when you peel them off, you put the UPS sticker on, you throw the, back away. He's like, you have to keep the backs to those and give them to the boss at the end of the shift, just so he knows how many stickers you used. This dude ate it up. So he's got all this big stack of fucking the back of like the stickers, takes them up to the boss, gives them to the boss. Boss looks at him for a second, just tosses them in the trash right in his face.
Oh my God. That's so mean. I love that.
Straight faced as fuck. I'm like, thank you guys for being nice to me.
Man, I'm surprised I didn't get that shit when I was doing HVAC.
Yeah.
Nobody, not one person fucked with me.
No?
That's
no fun.
They didn't fuck with me like that. Like, we would trash talk, but they wouldn't like send me to go find fake shit.
Yeah. Yeah, we got this machine. This is one of the ones that I used to, or that I do still. Like, there's a new guy that I tried it on, and somebody saved him, fuckers. But we got this big machine. It's like automated, and like the boss at the bottom, he basically picks what comes out of the machine. It's like a $14 million machine. So I get the new people convinced that there's a guy named Steve that works up there in that machine and pushes boxes off to come down onto the conveyors. So there are like 3 or 4 people. There are like 3 or 4 people there now who thinks there's a guy named Steve, which we don't employ a Steve on our shift, that works up there.
Dude, okay, so this isn't toying with you guys. This was on my last day at Staples.
Okay.
Now I didn't like let this sit. I want to make that clear before I start talking about this. I always owned up to it right after it took effect with the customer. But on my last day, I was wearing, the only thing that indicated that I might work there is that I was wearing a vest. It was like a black vest with no markings on it. And under that was like a blue t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that really indicated that I worked there was that I had like a wire for a radio. So customers would come up to me and ask like, where do you keep this and that and whatever? And I was the manager on duty. There were no other managers. And my reaction to like a bunch of them, not all of them, was, why do people think I work here?
Confuse the shit out of them.
Yeah. And then they would get all apologetic and I would be like, no, I do work here. It's over here. Come with me.
Probably made their fucking day though.
It did. They loved it. And I was like, man, I wish I had kept doing that, or that I had done it sooner. There was actually, it was during like the beginning period of me working there. It was back to school season, so our lines at the register were huge, and a customer needed change, but I needed to go get it out of the safe because we didn't have enough in the register. And I start looking at the money, and I just look back at the line, and I say, I announce, does anybody have any money? Whole line just erupts with laughter, and I went in the office. It was great.
Dude, I miss retail so much. I miss
Retail's
vendors. I miss vendors. Because vendors would come in and like, you know, a lot of the time they're a pain in the ass. I was in grocery. So we had like Pepsi coming in and the bread guy coming in and fucking we got vendors like pretty much all day, all week. So this Pepsi guy came in and he was new and they told us we were getting a new Pepsi guy. All right, cool. Well, we're gonna haze this motherfucker right. He comes in, he's like, hey, I got all this excess stuff they gave me. This is just free on the house. Da 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 da. We owed you some credit. He's like, where do you want me to put it? I looked him dead in the eye. I said, take your shit and get the fuck out with it.
What?
He looks like, what? Like, you want? I said, take all of it. We don't want no more Pepsi in here. And he like looked at me and he looked like he was about to fucking cry. Like he did something wrong. And I'm like, no. Don't. I'm just fucking with you. You're new. This dude was about to pack his shit and get the fuck out.
Oh my God.
We were good friends beyond that. But yeah, from that day. But
so
luckily I didn't catch him on a bad day.
When I was the fluid guy at the machine shop, so I was technically a part of the maintenance crew because I was maintaining shit. Right. And of course I had to be kind of, you know, like have a professional mindset. I had to keep track of shit. I was responsible for concentrations and fluids and all that stuff. So when we would get a new machine operator in, I would tell them shit like, if I catch you putting any kind of fluids in your machine by yourself without asking me to do it, I will shut your machine off and send you home for the day. And shit like that. If you talk to me weird, if you look at me weird, you're out of here. All right. I will not give you coolant. Your machine will shut down and you will not be able to work for the rest of the day. You will lose out on money. Don't look at me weird.
Oh shit.
And then I would walk around the corner and then come back around the other side and be like, I'm just fucking with you. My name's Jacob. How you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Like that kind of shit. Because I couldn't let it linger. I felt bad, but I still had to get that rush of being a dick.
See, that's something that brightens people's days too, though, because they're like, what the fuck? And you throw them off. And you make good friends that way just by like pretending to be an asshole. I made so many friends in retail. I mean, there was a couple of days where it was like if I had to write somebody up and they'd fucking cry about it or whatever, you know, you do have to be a dick sometimes when you're in management and shit. But other than that, for the most part, when I was, you can just be a dick and just at first, don't always be a dick to them, but
yeah,
hey, nice to meet you. I'm a fucking asshole and just get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't. Oh yeah. You were a manager. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. And I owned a shop for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yup. Coffee shop.
Yeah. Now I work in an office and you can't come in and just be like, morning fuckers. You can't do that in an office. It doesn't work like that. Everybody looks at you like, okay. No free donuts for you.
Fine then, you piece of shit.
I don't need donuts, you fat fuck. What are you doing? But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot more in the odd news category.
I have something to share, and it's something positive, kind of.
Okay.
I recently came across an article called "How to Stop with the Negative Self-Talk, You Dumb, Annoying Idiot." So, like the first step that I found is notice when you're being self-critical. And in the article, it states, usually when you're talking down to yourself, it's indistinguishable from all your other thoughts, which are also negative because you absolutely suck at optimism. The next time you throw yourself a scathing insult, take a second to acknowledge that you're being dumb and doing that negative self-talk thing again. The sooner you can recognize when you're talking down to yourself, the sooner you can stop already. Jesus. I mean, that's a good tip.
I like that. I like that.
Another way is to say the thought out loud. As real as it sounds in your head, it's bound to sound ridiculous out loud. Let's practice. Repeat after me. I'm undeserving of love because I'm 5'2" in Los Angeles. I will never be successful because my industry is oversaturated with depressed white women, and I'm only on 15 milligrams of Lexapro. I can't write realistic dialogue because I've never spoken to a person.
Oh my God.
My roommates hate me because I refuse to do my dishes. And I'm incapable of forming meaningful relationships because my past trauma leads me to pull away whenever I sense that someone is going to depend on me emotionally.
Accurate. Keep it going.
I mean, and for every negative thought, you've got to tack on something encouraging for yourself. So, like, they kind of set it over in a better way. I'm undeserving of love because I'm 5'2" in Los Angeles, but I'll probably still find it because straight men love to feel like they're dating a little girl. I will never be successful because my industry is oversaturated with depressed white women, and I'm only on 15 milligrams of Lexapro. But I'm about to run out, so soon I'll be unhinged and hilarious on Twitter.
Okay.
And I'm incapable of forming meaningful relationships because my past trauma leads me to pull away whenever I sense that someone is going to depend on me emotionally. But they were probably going to leave you anyway, so that's really a win for you. I'd say that's some
Rip
good
off
tips.
the Band-Aid.
Huh?
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah. Get it out of there.
Get off your stress pills and go be funny on Twitter.
Stop taking your meds, you fuck.
Ditch the meds. You'll be a lot funnier that way.
Learn to love yourself in 5 minutes, you stupid fuck.
Yeah.
I love that. Good.
Also, some big news towards these kids out here. Don't take me seriously, but follow your dreams until you're 18, and then go get a job so you don't end up like me.
We came out of shattered dreams. That's what it is, baby.
That's my morning inspiration for you guys.
Yeah, that's that morning inspiration, y'all.
Morning inspiration.
5 foot, 6 foot deep with my dogs. That's not how it goes, but that's how I always say it.
It can go however you want it to go, Jake. I promise.
For anybody listening at home, we don't take cocaine. We don't do anything like that. What we actually do, we like to... Where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. We like to kick it with Ray's Energy.
I'll take my talents to South Beach.
It's so Miami.
You motherfucker. Not this again.
Oh, and instead of sugary soft drinks, we like to kick it with Swift Lifestyles. And we'd like to thank both of them for sponsoring us and helping out.
Yes, and Reaper Apparel. They're a new one. They don't have a commercial or nothing yet. They're still a growing company, but shouts to Reaper Apparel. We love you guys. Now send me a goddamn shipment.
Yeah, send us some shit. I'll try it out.
I am down.
You said Reaper Apparel?
Reaper Apparel.
Reaper Apparel. I want to see some pictures of this shit. I have seen it.
Yep. I thought I put it in a little group combo, but I wasn't positive.
I think you did. I think that's where I saw this. Yeah, this is some pretty metal designs.
Yeah. And they got a good message behind them too. So Read up on them. Reaper Apparel Company on Facebook. And yeah, go copy some shit. Pretty soon we're going to have a code on there, just like we have on Swift Lifestyles, to where you get like 15 to 20% off or something like that. I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully I'll have that by Friday's show. So
both Raise and Swift Lifestyle, send me a shipment of your shit. Get at me on Instagram. I want to try it. I want to tell people about it. Send it. I want it. I went to Walmart. Raise Energy, I'm talking to you specifically. I went to Walmart. I thought they sold your shit. I didn't find any of your shit. It's not anywhere. I need your shit. Give me your shit. Come on.
You can go to Sam's Club. They have them at Sam's Club across the United States.
I don't have a membership.
Oh my goodness. Oh, what are we gonna do with you?
Costco?
Costco. There you go. Shout out to Jake also. He hosted the an actual like simulation of what we do on Mondays on a Saturday, and that shit was sweet. It went over so fucking well.
Yeah, it was entirely improv. It was just you and me riffing and the lawnmower guy.
This dude was battling with a lady mowing her lawn.
Yeah.
Beatboxing.
Yeah. So the lawnmower started up, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, hey, calm the fuck down. I can do that too. Sorry, I downshifted.
It was a completely amazing time. We actually came up with an idea. Maybe if we could plan it out. Let us know what you think of the idea. It's nothing official yet, but having a full night booked out at a club or somewhere close to where we have all of our shows that are actually interactive. Bring it to you instead of you watching online. I think it'd be a sweet thing, honestly.
Yeah. Get
a couple of bands to perform in between, and instead of a music video show, which we really haven't started on Saturdays anyways, we could just do performances.
Yeah.
I think
I had this other idea too. What about you and me, like being a comedy duo for hosting events and shit, trash talking involved and all the bullshit we do. But if you have a fundraiser and you want a couple of funny people,
I am more than down. I am so down. Get at us for booking as far as hosting, because that was a fun ass event on Saturday. Anybody there will vouch. We put on a pretty good improv show. We didn't plan shit.
Yeah, it was great. And for those of you who didn't like it, oh
my god,
I'm not even a knife person. I'm a multi-tool guy.
Oh god. Oh,
Leatherman, sponsor us. Yeah, Leatherman, Gerber. I mean, I don't have a Gerber yet, but I would like one. Gerber, if you would like to send me one of your
baby foods
center drives, that would be great. And then sponsor the Cody Live podcast. I'm just saying, hey,
talking about Gerber, like the baby food.
Fuck off. No, it's multi-tool company. Get your shit straight. Gerber, SOG, Leatherman, Victorinox, all that shit. Victorinox, by the way, made the original Swiss Army knife. I would like to point that out. Also, I love beatboxing. What's up? Fuck with me, huh? Dr. Pepper, sponsor us.
Do you know what I like that you might not like?
Raise Energy.
Well, you haven't tried it yet.
I might not like it.
It's not for everybody.
They've got to have a flavor that I like, though.
Dude, they have, when they first came out, they only had a few. I know they're up to like 13 or 14 flavors now, though. I could vouch for the Baja Blast. They have one. It's not called Baja Blast, obviously, but it's a Baja one that tastes just like Baja Blast.
Fucking send me some of your Baja shit. Raise, I'm part of the podcast too. Come on.
I haven't gotten nothing yet. I've gotten stuff from my from the Rebellion stuff that we did, but I'm still waiting. So it took them a little bit to send that too. So I get it. But
I messaged them on Instagram just saying thank you for sponsoring us.
Hell
they never responded.
No, they won't.
I'm calling you out, Raise. Not for anything important. I just want to chat.
Dear Raise, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I'm drunk on your Raise shit, and now I feel like I'm falling.
Oh geez. But no, what I was going to tell you. You know what I like that you don't like?
Music.
Sports ball. Okay, so in sports from Saturday, we had a couple of good Big Ten games. Jake was talking to us, me and Big Ed from Gridiron Breakdown. He was talking to us. He's like, "You guys are talking about games." He's like, "You guys talking about Nintendo, or you guys talking about Xbox or PlayStation?" And I'm like, "Bro, come on now. We're talking about sports ball." So in the Big Ten, Michigan State drops to 2-1 with a loss to Washington, 39-28. I made $10 off this game because I told them that they were going to get upset, and it fucking happened. Peyton Thorne, 323 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ohio State, whoops, they put a goddamn whooping on Toledo, but still gave up 21 points. Ohio State, 77-21 OSU. CJ Stroud, 367 yards, 5 TDs. Michigan Wolverines, still undefeated, 59-0 over UConn. JJ McCarthy, 214 yards through the air. Blake Corum, the third, I believe, person to record 5 tutties in one game for Michigan. Really wasn't a game in Ann Arbor, and I'm hoping to be there for the Maryland one coming up, and maybe we'll get some live shit for you and bring it to the stream. I don't know where Jake went, guys. I'm kind of scared. He disappears this early in the morning sometimes. Where did he go? He's going to grab a drink. But yeah, overall, great day for college football yesterday. This season has been all over the fucking place. I didn't get a chance to look up. My weekend's been busy. I didn't get a chance to look up high school scores. So if you got your local high school score, put it in the comments so people can see. It was a busy one this weekend. So I'm not even going to lie. It gets overwhelming sometimes, but we love it. I love what I do. I love bringing you guys entertainment. Once again, if you guys want to give some ideas for upcoming shows, as far as us doing it live in front of you, if you guys have any kind of ideas, if you guys are even interested in it, what I would like to do and kind of how to format it would be like how we have Biscuits and Gravy on Mondays. Start the night out with that. Get an interview in there and just do what me and Jake do. Have a band in between. For Wednesdays, bring Gibby in. We'll interview somebody local, or we'll interview somebody in general and get their business out there. Have another band in between. Thursdays for the DJ show. Instead of having the DJ showcase online, you'll actually have a DJ showcasing in front of you with interviews, and that would be with the HOD, the Chancellor. Fridays, that's going to be the probably the headliner of that night if we do it, just because like all of us are on that shit. And it's panel talk. We'll bring up something good, and you guys we'll take questions from the audience about, stuff that we talk about on the Cody Live podcast on Fridays, and get some of your guys' input. Maybe you guys have questions. Maybe you're an aspiring artist coming up and want opinions on something, want a second opinion. I think it would be great to do that live with you guys. For some people who might not join in because they can't sit in front of their computer and watch. They'd rather see it live. Let us know what you think about that. I've been kind of mapping that shit out, and hopefully by the new year we can get something rolling, because I think that'd be sweet, especially after what we did Saturday. So, got a Mountain Dew this early, motherfucker?
I wake up, bro.
I feel it.
Normally I do tea, but yeah, either tea or like a Monster Mango.
Hell yeah.
That's a good one with all I can't remember what it was, like Day of the Dead stuff, like the skeletons with the floral designs. I don't know. It's a really good one.
I don't know. I drink Monsters once in a while. Usually it's Rockstar though. Usually I'll have a Rockstar.
Isn't like Hispanic Heritage time period coming up or something?
I'm not sure.
Hang on. Hispanic
look it up.
Heritage Month. Yes. We're currently in it right now. September 15th to October 15th.
Okay.
So if you have Hispanic in your bloodline, it's time to go hard, motherfucker. I'm specifically drinking Mountain Dew Frostbite right now.
Mountain Dew Frostbite? What the hell is that? Like, what's the difference between that and...
It's, first off, it's the only Mountain Dew flavor I've seen that does not have a little mini description of what the flavor is.
Oh, really?
It's not there.
Huh.
But it's a Walmart exclusive cool melon flavor.
Okay. That actually sounds decent. I don't drink much pop, but that actually sounds decent.
I'm probably going to die at 40.
Why you say that? Drink a lot of pop?
I drink a lot of soda. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be like that sometimes. I feel it.
Everybody at home's going, he said soda like a nerd, like a California nerd. What do you, are you in agreement with the illegal straws law, bud? You fucking California nerd.
What
Dude,
the fuck?
have you ever noticed how good quality the straws at McDonald's are? That shit is crazy, dude. And you know how you're supposed to be able to like open the burger box and it's got that hole in the middle? You can just sit it on your drink and put the fries on the other side.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that until semi recently, like the last several years. But that's probably why those straws are so fucking heavy duty.
Huh. Yeah, I could see it. I can see it.
Yeah, man, it's super good.
You think we should hit them with some on this day in history?
No.
Oh. Fuck you guys.
I don't think they're ready for that. Do you guys even feel like you're deserving of on this day of history?
Listen to this asshole.
On today, on September 18th, 2022, the Biscuits and Gravy Morning Show told you to go fuck yourself.
Well, that's weird because today is actually the 19th, motherfucker.
I need to change my computer.
Nope. On this day in 1796 was George Washington's farewell address. It finally got published in the newspapers. All that good stuff. Jimmy Fallon was born in 1974 on this day. Happy birthday, Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy, if you want to be on the show, call me.
I don't know how they got this, but I guess Henry III's birthday was in 1551. He was born on this day in 1551. That's crazy. Panamanian baseball pitcher Mariano Rivera, big Yankee back in the day. Back in 2011, registered his record-setting 602nd career save. Yeah, he's Hall of Famer by far. The medical drama ER debuted in 1994 on this day and became one of the highest rated programs on television.
Absolute classic.
Mr. George Clooney, man. The Mary Tyler Moore Show debuted in 1970 on this day. That's some old shit there. I remember that's like my grandma's time.
Did you ever watch it? It's not bad.
It's not? What is it? Like,
cool. If I remember right, it's like sketch comedy. Let me see here. I actually don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. I've only seen it once.
It might suck.
More show. Morning. I know what you're doing.
What?
I know what you're doing.
What am I doing?
Trying to get me to do the thing.
To do the thing.
Trying to get me to do this. Trying to get me to verb some nounage.
Yeah, I feel it. I might have.
So, like, is Mary Tyler more hot?
Oh my god.
Hey, baby. You like Fisher Price music?
Oh my god.
That's probably Butthead when he was being babysat. I don't know. It's not telling me anything like seriously set in stone as to what this show is, but it's a comedy show.
Yep, I might have to check it out. I've heard of it. I've heard of it multiple times. Another one, and he just recently passed in 2020. Joe Morgan was born in 1943 on this day. Just to sum it up, there was an astronaut too, Sunita Williams, born in 1965 on this day.
Nice.
Yep. Fuck astronauts.
Yeah, spaced out motherfuckers.
Talk to a conspiracy theorist and will tell you that the moon is not real. So astronauts are not real.
I've seen the moon.
Yeah?
Yeah, like in person. It's there.
Yeah, sometimes. When it's not cloudy out.
Fuck
Usually when
you,
the sun
Cody.
Usually when the sun comes out, I run from it.
Trying to make me use my fucking brain this early in the morning on conspiracy shit that I don't even believe in.
No, me either.
I'm
I
not
love
okay.
hearing it, though.
You'll probably appreciate this. This is something I actually did.
Okay.
Not joking. I wanted perspective and I wanted to hear the thoughts of others. So, and this was a while ago,
Mm.
I joined a Flat Earth Society group on Facebook
Really?
because I wanted to see what they had to say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Okay, I have a similar story to that because this dude always spews this stuff to me. I'm the type I'll hear you out about anything, especially if it's like interesting. Not even like interesting from a standpoint that I believe what you're saying, but like, how in the fuck do you think this way?
mhm.
And I was actually given a website that these people use for this shit. And some of the stuff you see, like, which I'm not judging nobody, but some of the stuff is just so far out there, man. It is so far out there.
Mm.
I'm not going to bring in politics. Obviously, that's a rule. But just some of the stuff, even about sports, like some of the stuff they believe. And about Hollywood, like I've heard that every actor, just one of the ones out of very many, and like I said, I'm not getting political, but I heard that every actor in Hollywood is predetermined when they're born. And the all females in Hollywood used to be men.
The second part, not likely. The first, also not likely, but interesting nonetheless.
Yes, that's just so far out in left field. I love it, though. I love hearing them out just to, not necessarily because I'm hearing them out, and I guess you can call me an enabler, but it's so entertaining, bro.
Well, the flat earth, because I really wanted to like see like where are you guys coming up with these ideas, and this group was probably a bunch of people like me who just wanted to hear their side. The group was just a ton of people yelling at each other.
Oh no,
that's what it was. It wasn't even like there's people throwing their quote unquote proof back and forth at each other, and round earth people being like, you guys, I'm not kidding, it was super high school. A lot of like, your small brain can't handle this concept and shit like that. Very, very middle school or high school. And finally, after I don't know how many weeks of being on this thing, I just put a post in there saying, you know, I came out into this group to hear some sides, and it turns out you're just a bunch of fucking Marys bitching at each other about nothing. So I'm out. Bye.
Yeah, that's how it gets, man. People, I think that's the problem with everything in society right now is people can't disagree. There's never a gray area in people's minds where they're willing to learn about, hey, maybe this person thinks this way because it's either I'm right and you're wrong, and if you don't agree with me, we can't be friends. And it's like, that's why nobody gets along anymore.
Yeah. Learn to call each other a fucktard.
Yeah.
And be happy about it.
Yep. Don't get it personal. Like, that's what I like. That's what I like about our collective too. Like, even with like music taste and stuff, we don't get all pissy. Like, hey, somebody will tell me like, hey, I don't like that part in the song. I'll go listen to what they're saying about it. You know what I'm saying? Actually take it in instead of being, wow, you don't like me then?
Wow. It's always wow. Wow.
You must not like me. You must not respect me. No. Like, somebody's just trying to suggest to you and like get you to see from their point of view. As long as they're not being a dick about it, take it in. Be a decent human being.
What if we did switch to major during this part of the song instead of keeping it minor? Do you think I'm retarded? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying I'm retarded?
My songs are bad. All of them? All of them are bad.
Wow.
Like, give this up.
Wow.
You want me to give this up?
Wow.
That's how
I
it is.
bet
I'm
you were
not being
fucking
facetious.
accepted into Oxford University. You fuck. You think you know everything about music, huh? Music is subjective. You retard. Why are you even in this band? You can't play guitar.
Right.
And then it becomes about how they're a failure.
Yeah. People don't. You got to leave room for argument. Anything can be argued on. Everybody has different opinions somewhere on everything.
No, they don't.
Let that be argued on and just respect each other at the end of it. As long as it's not some ignorant shit.
First off, nobody has opinions on anything.
You what?
We're gonna do this right now.
What?
You're talking about learning to disagree on shit and not fighting over it, and I'm like, and you're like, people have their opinions. I'm like, no, they don't. Let's argue.
Oh God!
No, it's like Shorzy skating next to a girl. Like, you skate like a girl. I am a girl. No, you're not.
Let's argue. Let's go. I love it. You always got to leave the gray area. I think society's fucked up because there is never no gray area, and not everybody's going to agree with you. Nobody's that entitled.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yes. Yeah.
You got anything cool coming up?
Anything cool coming up? Not really. Honestly, like I took Saturday's show, and it was just like doing interludes and stuff, and we did some of the podcasts and stuff in between. I did a couple songs, but going back to the drawing board as far as an album, and been in touch with BBG, of course, my hype man, and then Saint, where I record at. Talked to my guitarist Devin and talked to Chancellor about throwing some scratches in, and I want to go about an album, getting all these people involved to produce and keeping it all at home. You know what I'm saying? Kind of homegrown album instead of, going out and shopping for beats and stuff, making it the way that I actually want it to be.
Yeah.
With BBG, we also have a new DJ we're adding in that I want to practice up with and get us all close knit and tight. And we should have an announcement soon about a January show. We just all got to come together on it and see what's up with it. And Shattered Dream's gonna be throwing something sweet. We got something sweet coming your way, and that's how I'm gonna start my year off. But until then, I'm just plotting and planning and working on new material. It's time.
That's cool.
What about you?
Well, I'll be in Lansing, Michigan this Thursday at Blue Owl Coffee House. I will be teaching a beatboxing seminar.
Ooh, that'd be neat.
It probably will be. And then Saturday I'll be performing at a charity show, sort of like a private event. I've had little ideas recorded here and there,
right,
but I'm starting to kind of get an idea in my head of my next album.
Yeah.
And I know that it's going to be entirely instrumental.
Right.
Unless you want to consider beatboxing as vocals, which it is, but it's not. There's no lyrics.
Right.
So it's going to be a little bit of beatbox metal. It's going to be a little bit of fucking Guitar Hero type playing.
Hell yeah. People were commending that the other night, man. They were on that shit. The beatbox metal. That's a good avenue.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep, I heard a lot of people in the crowd. They were like, hell yeah. Fucking yeah. Overall, oh my God, I can't get over Saturday night. Saturday night was just so awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a lot of good people there. It was funny. I sold 2 of my shirts, and then I used that money to buy a BioKiller shirt.
Yeah, I heard you telling Autumn about that. He's like, yeah, you're like, yeah, I sold a shirt, so I went and grabbed one of yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how merch did. I haven't talked to Lucas about that, but
that's my big complaint, man. Once $1 enters the Shattered Dreams community, it fucking leaves from there, man. Shattered Dreams owned businesses don't last long. Please don't come at me in the comments. I'll support a black-owned business.
Yeah.
You just gotta tell me where the fuck they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel it. I feel it.
Oh, I should ask
Oh.
Cam if there's any out in Ipsy that need like, because I'd like to go in and shop at one. The problem is that's what I keep hearing is like if you shop at a black-owned business, a lot of those products are not black-owned products, so the money goes right back out of the black community. So
Go to the rich white CEOs.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel that. That's with a lot of the charities and stuff. It pisses me off so much. Because like we used to do events, and I'm definitely not putting down anybody who does charitable events for them or the charity itself. I am in disagreement. We with a couple of them, American Cancer Society being one. I think like 70% of the profit that you actually donate actually goes to like the CEOs and paying the top dogs. And then like 30% of what you're actually donating to goes to the actual fucking cause. When I found out about that, I stopped throwing events like that. Because there's only a couple out there that you throw the money to and it actually goes towards the cost. I think the Fisher House is one of them that gives like 80% to homeless veterans, and you know what I'm saying? That actually goes to the cause.
Yeah. I always, for some reason, thought that charities, that all that money was going, like 100% of it was going towards the charity. And I was always confused as to how people could just keep it running. Like, are you really just doing this out of the goodness of your heart? Like, no, they need to be helped too. Because it goes back to that old thing. You cannot help somebody else without helping yourself first. So if you're going to do a charity, some of that's got to be going to you too, so you can sustain.
Right. But you got to think at the end of the year too. It's kind of one of those debating things. At the end of the year, you file on taxes and you do get a tax write-off for donating to charity. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, it does go hand in hand. And that's why you see like a lot of the major corporations and stuff donating, because they're getting a kickback. You think they're going to donate with no kickback? All those millionaires and stuff, they're definitely getting a kickback.
That reminds me, Taco Bell, as much as I love you guys, this whole rounding up to the nearest dollar to help school kids, it's fine. I'll donate, but are you donating to?
Right.
Or you
it
just
makes me
having
wonder
me
how
donate?
often I've always wondered that with like the Ronald McDonald house at McDonald's, how often they actually come empty that jar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. I haven't been in a McDonald's in a long time, but I know they used to have it at the front of the register where you throw your spare change or whatever you want to throw in there. Like, how often do they come and get that?
Yeah.
Kind of want to do a study.
When I was at Staples, we were doing this thing where we had these boxes filled that had a bunch of like school supplies in them. And you as a shopper had the option to donate $5. That money and the supplies in that box would both go to a school.
Right.
But we had hundreds of these fucking boxes piled up. So what my question was, what happens to those boxes if they don't get quote unquote sold? Like, are you still going to donate that shit?
Yeah. See, that's I don't know. It's a debate that could go on forever. Like another one that I don't personally like is Goodwill, because they're selling donated items. Like, why not just give it to somebody who actually fucking needs it? Not every family out here, especially in the times that we're in, can afford to go out and pay, $5 for something that might be worth more, obviously. But these are donated to you. To me, that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong.
My first job was Salvation Army. It was the same exact thing.
Yep. And when it comes down to it, I would rather see you go take that to a kid living on the street. Take that coat to him.
Yeah.
They could use that instead of throwing a fucking price tag on it.
Yeah. So now, from now on, if I'm going to like donate clothing for the sole purpose of donating it and not just getting rid of it, I'm going to find somebody who needs it. But actually, you know what? I say that, but every time I just want to get rid of clothing, I still take it to Salvation Army. So that's my bad.
One thing I suggest, and I don't mean to cut you off, but one thing I do suggest is they do have, I know out my way, and I'm sure other churches do it, to where you could drop off. You got to have it in bags or in a tote or something. Don't just fucking, here you go.
Yeah.
But like, put whatever you need to donate in a tote and take it to that church, because that goes directly to, a kid. Or a lot of the baby clothes, like my son's clothes and stuff, will do that. Or if it don't sell, obviously, because a lot of the stuff I paid decent money for. But it actually goes to somebody needy instead of having that fucking middleman that's gonna cheat somebody.
Yeah.
It's the only problems I have with charities. Like I know I want this. We're organizing an event for Thanksgiving time here to give turkeys in bad financial times. Obviously, a lot of people aren't doing good right now financially. It sucks. Right now, the world sucks for that right now. There's a lot of people who are doing great, who's losing their houses and losing their cars and losing, and it happens. Unfortunate events happen, but we want to organize an event to give. We're gonna have performances and cornhole, and gonna try to get a couple celebrities out here. This is the first I speak of it publicly, but we're gonna take the money from it, every single fucking dollar, and buy turkeys and Thanksgiving food to make sure that families are having a nice Thanksgiving, because finances shouldn't have to set you back from family time. So,
yeah, the company I'm working for now recognizes like all the main holidays as paid, so that's good.
Yeah, that's with mine also. We used to, and I'm not a religious guy, but they used to have it so third shift didn't work. This is when the owners were like the original owners were alive. That originally like third shift would not work on Sundays. Like you would start your shift at 12:01 and go until your 6:30 or whatever. Obviously they changed it since then, but it's cool. It shows good morals, and good morals are something that's lacking in society also. Morally, it's hard to trust anybody anymore, and something like that, it's awesome.
Yeah. There's this other thing that I guess my company does that I'll tell you about off the air, but it could be a game changer for me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Could be.
It's always a good feeling when your employers actually give a flying fuck.
Yeah, like my boss is a total sweetheart. And she's so supportive and wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one thing to start your morning, maybe even think on, like, and I'll kind of tell a little bit. I know we keep it kind of funny and keep it upbeat here, but kind of just telling you from my experiences. I'm a 30-year-old guy now, with a job. You might be driving to a job that you really don't like.
Yeah.
Always keep your mind open. Don't let your work life affect your home life. Don't get it to where you're freaking miserable when you go home. Realize there are choices out there now more than ever.
I'm going to stress this while we're on the topic. I'm going to stress this to people right now, because this is something that took me way too fucking long to get through my head. If you are dead ass miserable at a job, especially if you've already done multiple of the same type of job before and you're still miserable, consider shifting gears like crazy. My story up until now, as far as being a working person, is I did a ton of warehouse and manufacturing, and I would go from job to job to job, mostly temp stuff, like not temp, but like employment agency shit.
Yeah.
I would wake up in the morning with all that dread of going into work. This is going to be horrible, and I know it, and I'll get myself to the end of the week and it'll be fine. Yeah. But you're miserable the whole time. Eventually, I came to you have to come to the conclusion that maybe that type of work is not for you. So I was like, okay, hard left. What if I tried a call center? I like talking to people. That was the first time I ever woke up for work with zero dread.
Really? Is that your current job?
No, that was 2 jobs ago. So that was the only reason I left that job, of course, was shit pay. And also they were dead clear. There is no room for advancement. Unless like my boss left, who I would never want her to leave. Right. So, and then the management position dropped in my lap. That's why I left that job. But then I was also considering, like, I never gave office work a proper chance. I was there for a couple months. Right. And granted, the one I'm in now is I'm only like a week in. I'm starting my second week tomorrow. Well, this morning. Right. But yeah, I'm like loving every minute of it so far. And everybody there's great. But this is my point. You are not stuck where you are. There's plenty of jobs. If you're miserable where you're at, constantly be looking. Get on Indeed. Hop on this or that job platform. Look for something with better pay. especially if you've been where you're at for a long time, you might be qualified for something better.
Yep. Absolutely.
You hear about high turnover for a reason. Be a part of that high turnover.
Yep.
You know,
a lot of the companies that have been abusing their employees for years, it's coming back to haunt them now.
Yeah. And then you'll also hear about, and there's merit in this completely about sticking it out where you're at and progressing, but you don't want to progress in something that you hate.
Yeah.
You know, keep looking. I mean, I've felt like shit because I've been bouncing from job to job to job for years.
Mm-hmm.
And it, of course, comes with a feeling of like low self-worth because you feel like you're not capable of sticking it out here or there. But there's a constant search that goes on in your life for something that you enjoy doing. And I'm hoping that I've found that with this, because this is pretty great so far. And I have not, the last job I had and this one are probably the two only jobs I've had an actual hunger to learn more.
Yep. And that's a big thing. And I will say, like, people were giving me shit. My last job before the one that I have now, that I enjoy. I thoroughly enjoy my job. I like the people that I work with. My bosses are cool. You know, upper management, there's always problems with corporate. It's just something that's going to happen. As long as they're not completely fucking you in the ass, you do kind of deal with some of it. It's going to happen pretty much everywhere you go. You're not going to like everything that goes on. But I was finding myself, and I remember like my grandpa telling me when I was younger, he's like, you know, work your job, work hard, but don't work your life away. And people were like, wow, you're crazy for leaving, because the job that I was at, I was getting like $22 an hour. But I was working 62 to 70 hours a week. So at that same time, I didn't have time for my passion. I didn't, you know, the time with my kid was getting very, very low. You know, your schedule just, and I know a lot of people in that situation. I get it. Times are hard. You got to work a little bit harder sometimes. But when you start getting miserable about your hours, this job that I came to, initially, a pay has went up since then. I took a $6 pay cut to be happier, just because I was downright fucking miserable. Now I'm working my 40 hours a week, have plenty of time for my kid, have plenty of time for my music, you know, setting up the podcast stuff. I'm enjoying life a lot more now. And that's $6 an hour. You think you add that up, that's $240 a week, not taxed, that I took a cut just to be happier.
Here's another thing. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm done.
Here's one more thing. This isn't it's not like I'm making a lot of money at this, but selling merch at shows, which thank God to Cody and the Shattered Dreams guys for like hounding me, like, this is something you need to be doing. Getting into, I guess, capitalism in certain, I mean, that's what it is. Selling merch has definitely gave me a feeling of ease as far as my money is concerned. Like, I'll start dwindling in my bank account, and then I'll like sell a couple of shirts, for example. And then like now I can afford probably 8 more meals from like Taco Bell at least. Or if I go buy a bunch, like some sandwich shit, that'll last me for quite a while, you know? But having that extra thing, even though if it's not that much money, it adds up.
Yeah. Yep. And there's a cast coming up where I'm going to talk. It's actually on Gibby's network. That it's focused, and I'm not going to go into it on here, but like child custody and how to balance, a big thing in life right now. And life is full of them. If need be, if that 40 hours is not getting you by, trust me, I'm making like less than $1,000 a month just because of everything outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really going into that on this cast per se, but watch it. I think it's September 30th. We're going to do it. But finding that side hustle, because there's so many side hustles out there right now. If you want extra money, you want to work 40 hours a week to balance that life balance with your work balance, I think this is a good thing to start the morning. That work and life balance. So you want to balance that out. Get yourself a side hustle. You know, go grab your lawnmower and put an ad out. Hey, I'll mow yards for it's as small as that, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Because right now that's almost essential in society. Like, jobs just aren't paying enough. When you're paying, you know, at one point in time, we were paying almost $5 for gas. Yeah, it's an essential thing, and it's something I've learned with mine. You know, I'm making roughly probably $80 a day at my job with tax. Okay, you take out my deductions, I'm fucked. But I'm finding like people at work now, I'd be like, wow, you're taking a half night tonight. You're fucking lazy. No, I'm smart because I'm going to take that half night. I'm going to go home. I'm going to do what I do for my side hustle. 2 hours at my side hustle is $100.
Yeah.
Now you tell me who's dumb and lazy.
Yeah.
Bitch, I'm about my money.
In some cases, that means you can drop hours at that shitty job a bit.
Mhm.
You could go down to part-time, focus on that side hustle more. Maybe that side hustle builds up into something you enjoy doing more.
Yep. And make a profession out of it.
Yeah.
Then you're doing something that you love less and making more time for your everyday life, your kids, your music, whatever you aspire to do, whatever you like to do, which is essential in life. And I think people working like the 80 hours a week, they're like, yeah, I work 80 hours a week. I don't know why you're complaining. Well, bitch, I want to make more money in less time. And I want to have a life and time to spend that money and spend that time with my friends, with my son and stuff like that. I don't want to work. I'm not going to brag about that. It's not to brag about to me.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. I'll buy you a trophy for working your fucking life away. But I bet you're not happy.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like you want to be the hardest working person there. And for people like me, the reason for that is because you're terrified of being the person who's doing the least.
Yes.
Which can get to an unhealthy point. But if you're working your ass off and you're clearly dealing with more responsibility or getting more done or this or that, and you're not being compensated for it, you need to bring that up. You need to be having these talks with your employers, because this is something else to consider. And employment is a two-way relationship.
Yep.
Both parties, the employer and the employee, both need to feel satisfied in that relationship. If they're not, it's not going to work out. So
and people have gotten away from that to where they're just taking the dick and whatever.
Yeah. And here's another thing. This is something to keep in mind, and I think a lot of people overlook this. When you're in a job interview, that's a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
You're interviewing each other, and it's usually, this is something that's often talked about in psychology, is framing an interaction. The interaction usually is framed as if you are the person that is being, I guess, investigated in this situation in a job interview. You're the one who's getting the questions asked about you by this employer who's got all this money that maybe trickles down to you. But the other part of that is, this is somebody you're giving your time to. Yep. That is just as valuable. And most places will, when you're in that job interview, will ask you if you have any questions for them. This is often overlooked and treated with a no, I'm good. Why? Because you're trying to appease them and not come off as having a bunch of extra issues or this or that. You're trying to be agreeable. Right. Don't do that. Ask your questions. You need to know, what do I need in a job in order to be happy in my life? And you need to know these things before going in. Ask those questions. Figure out what you need to know in order to accept that position, because they need you just as bad as you need them.
Yep. And think about that. That's one of my old jobs. I won't call the job out, but kind of know your worth at your job. That was a big thing about taking the $6 cut, was just getting treated like dirt. It was micromanaged. They looked at numbers, like, and I'm up front. Be upfront with your employer, and if they're not respectful back, get the fuck out. Like, I was going through some stuff. I was very upfront with the employer, and they set me down and they told me, this is before all these, job shortages or whatever you call it right now going on. This is before all that, and leading into that, they changed their mind, and I told them, I slammed the fucking door in their face. They set me down after me telling them, hey, my numbers might be down. I got this shit going on at home, but I'm spending a lot of time here. I asked to go part-time at one point in time just because my mental health was going to shit. And they set me down and said, you need us more than we need you. Remember that. That was the last time I stepped foot in that fucking building.
They said that to you?
Yes, they did. They set me down after telling them, like, hey, it was something going on with my kid situation. I had court coming up. I was stressing the fuck out. And they set me down and they told me that just because my numbers were a little bit down, and they weren't low, just down from normal. Don't let people talk. Right now we're in an employee market. This isn't where they're ruling you. They're almost begging for employees pretty much everywhere, at least in my area. You can get in damn near anywhere you go. But I definitely stress that if you're unhappy at a job, you're driving right now to a job and you're listening to this, and put that food for thought. If you're miserable at your job, your home life's deteriorating in any sense, think about it. Get online. There's plenty of websites out there right now. Even if you got to take the pay cut, if it's within your means, do so. I highly encourage that. Money doesn't make up for treatment.
Mm-hmm. And use the tools you have out there. I mean, I always cite Indeed.com because they make it stupid easy to apply to jobs. Before websites like that, you had to go to a company's website, find the careers section, find the job you were interested in after searching for a bunch of it, and then you had to go through a whole process of filling out an application and all this shit. With Indeed, we're not sponsored, by the way, but Indeed, if you want to sponsor us,
We're here.
Indeed, you put in, first off, you make your resume and you upload it, which immediately takes away at least half of the application process. What happens from there is you basically click apply to this job and that. They send that shit out. It's quick. When I decided I wanted to change jobs for my last one, I applied to 38 jobs in one night.
Yep, it's simple compared to how it used to be. Well, think back when I first started working and stuff. This makes me sound ancient, but paper apps were a thing where you had to sit down and take almost a whole night to do 38 apps. So now it's so easy to go in. It's so easy to go in and just click, and you can almost. I mean, there's jobs out there for everything right now. Luckily, I enjoy what I enjoy what I do, but like if the right opportunity came up, even me being happy with my employment, I'm still looking because you never know.
Yeah. Which just sucks. Like, it sucks being at a job and seeing other people on Indeed.com or something like that, because it's like disheartening. Like, you're looking at eventually I'm going to feel the way they do. But yeah. And then on the other hand, if you like your job, work your fucking ass off and see if you can move up.
Yeah.
And if you can't, after however long, like, communicate with your employer that you're interested in that. Get their advice on what you need to do in order to move up.
Right. Well, I know with like a job like mine, we have a thing. It's a new portal, and I know a lot of companies are going to it, where you could put in comments, you could put in goals, how things are going. Sometimes they'll even give you a survey like, hey, how are the supervisors doing? Or, what are your goals with the company? And you could tell them right there. You could be up front and center. Hey, I'd love to go into this position, or I've been looking into college, maybe getting into, another position here that fits. Yeah. And they'll actually take it into consideration. Because right now, I mean, you got to think with all the job shortages and just the unemployment rate. I mean, it's getting better than it was, obviously, with the COVID and all that stuff going on. But it's still not good. It's still not good. And jobs are wide the fuck open right now. But a lot of companies are resorting to an online portal to where you don't even have to go face to face and feel demanding about it. Like with the app that we have, I can message my supervisor right now. I could take my, like tonight I took a half night to get caught up on some stuff podcast wise for the week. But I go right on there, type it in. It goes straight to his cell phone. And he can approve it or deny it. So if you have a half night. I mean, it's nice. Yeah, it's something that I see a lot of companies gravitating towards, and definitely use your goals screen. If you have bigger goals within the company, instead of just being on the floor, the rest of your life, some companies take that into consideration, utilize that shit.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy moly. We just made that topic last a minute.
Yeah, that was great.
It was.
But yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot of you listening to this. First off, thank you so much for listening. But there's probably a lot of you listening to this right now feeling stuck or trapped at a job that you hate or whatever's going on. There's always a way out. It's not like, I mean, feeling stuck at a job, that's a feeling for sure, but you're not actually stuck. The second you find another job that wants you, you have leverage. Yeah.
I totally agree. Just utilize and remember, things ain't going to change unless you change them. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of it. That employer, here's something that I really took in is that before your obituary drops, they're going to have your spot up for grabs at any employment. Remember that. Remember that. At the end of the day, your employer still cares about you. I ain't saying everybody's employer is bad, but that job opening is going to come out before your obituary.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Let's bring up one more thing within this topic real quick. So we were, just to preface this, Cody and I have both been in management positions. Cody, real quick, what was yours?
With the management?
Yeah, was that at that grocery store, or was that at the coffee?
I did 5 years in management at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up owning my own business for about 1.5 years, 2 years, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't work out with politics and stuff. You're asking kind of about the experience with it?
No, I'm getting to a point here. So for those of you who are fairly happy at where you are, Cody, as a manager, what do you like to see from your employees that make them seem worthy of moving up?
Personally, what I liked compared to what other people liked there as far as it varied. I was different, but that's why I like my employees. We didn't have like a love-hate relationship. It's one of those things like you treat me right, I'll treat you right. Have a good attitude. Come to work, especially in retail. People can tell if you have a bad attitude on that day because we hear it. As a manager, we heard that shit. Well, so-and-so must not have been in the mood. Well, why was that? They're just kind of snobby. And you might not mean it, but it shines through when you're sitting at a register. If you're having a bad day, that customer feels your energy. That's good. They're going to be less tempted to come back, especially when I owned my business. That was a big thing that I told my cashiers. Allow people to leave with a smile on their faces. That's the shit that catches my eye to a point that I want to move you up and get you, when there's an opportunity. I'm going to be the one to put that word into big management. Hey, maybe so-and-so would fit this role. I did that a couple times at the grocery store I worked at. With my coffee shop, I was the owner, so I was in charge of the shit. But if I seen the attitude was good, people were leaving with smiles on their faces, they're more tempted to come back. You put a smile on their face, you joke around, don't get in their face about it. But maybe somebody's having a bad day, and just that being in retail, obviously, they leave with a smile on their face. They're going to come back in that door. They like that. You just turn their whole day around with a cup of coffee and a smile. And that's the type of thing that stuck out to me. I don't do management anymore. I like being the middleman a little bit more than the leader, just because of some of the corporate bullshit, and you know how it goes, I'm sure.
Yeah. See, I liked being a manager, but I think I would have liked it better in a different setting rather than retail.
Right.
Or maybe a retail setting that was a little bit more, I don't want to say free to the manager. Like if we had an issue with somebody, like there were a couple people at my job that clearly should have been fired half a year ago.
Yeah.
And the reason they weren't is because, it might become an HR issue for this or that. Like we needed to have a shit ton of built up data on this person to even start the process.
Yeah.
It was insane. And there were a couple people there that should have just been fucking let go, kicked out the door, in my opinion.
Right.
But this is just to shed a little bit of light on people who feel like stuck in their position. And it can sound like bullshit, but that good attitude is huge. If you got a shit attitude about being there, it's fucking awful. Like you got to think about it from the manager's perspective. If you've got people working for you, or you ask them to take care of a task or whatever, if that person's giving you a shitty attitude about it, they're clearly not caring about the stuff getting done as much as that manager is needing them to, because the manager is the one making sure stuff's getting done. So what you need to be is an aid in that. So for me, what I would see a lot, there was this one guy. I'm not going to say his name out loud, but this dude was great. I kind of wanted him to take over my position when I left, but he had already expressed interest in leaving for various reasons, pay being one of them.
Yeah.
But the thing that stuck out about him was he would just do shit on his own. He would pick up on processes real fucking fast. And then he would just start doing stuff by himself. He would pick up on routines and just ask, hey, do you need me to get this done right now? Because we did it last night. And it's stuff like that.
Taking initiative is huge.
Yeah, like learning.
That's what got me my
done.
role.
Yeah. For me moving forward, because I'm not a manager anymore, I'm definitely going to be asking my manager, once I get my job down, like, what can I do to make your job easier? Is there anything I'm doing that might be holding you back a bit and getting your shit done?
Yeah.
Is there possibly any of your stuff I could take on to kind of take ease off of you? Like, the team leader, while it's their, I'm not saying that you should start asking to do their job for them. But be a helping hand, because that's what you are in the first place to a manager. The manager is managing everything. They're managing people. You need to be easy to manage.
Yep, make yourself easy. That's how you stick out too. Like I went from just a regular store employee to a manager in about a year's time. Just by initiative, treating the customer right every single time they went to the line. I could be having the worst day ever. Keep in mind, this is before like a lot of the drama in my life came along. I was young, but I think I took the manager role at about 21 years old and was there until I was about 24, 25. I believe. No, I might even been younger than that. I was there for a little bit. My time's off. But just having that smile on your face, or when go the extra mile, when you got to unload a truck, like they asked me if I wanted to do Saturdays. Like, hey, do you want to be here at 5:30 a.m. on Saturdays? You're gonna unload the truck. Yeah, of course. Let's go. Then you're out on those Saturdays. I got out at like 12:30, 1 o'clock. It was nice. I still had the Saturday to myself. But there was a lot of initiative that came, and then I got the manager role and got the set of keys and started counting the drawers, I started out as night shift manager, then went to days after a while because they found new night shift managers to replace. One of the days managers left. I was doing a grocery and dairy. I was in charge of all the orders for those. And I would love to go back to retail. I wish pay in retail was just a tad bit better, especially I worked for a local company that had 3 stores within the area. So it wasn't like a corporate thing. There was no big guy to answer to. He was always accessible.
Yeah.
So if you had a question, you had a cell phone number. Hey, this is going on, or so-and-so called. What's going on with this? So it was a lot better than the corporate. I'm finding out I don't like corporations too much just because of how their upper management is. They don't give a fuck about you. You're only a number, even if you are a manager of a store most times. Those big guys don't give a shit. They wipe their ass with your paycheck.
Yeah, fuck.
But I've heard it from multiple people that just working for a local is a major step up in treatment most times. But yeah, as far as like what I look for though, just a smile, punctuality, be at work on time. That's a big one. I know we all run late. Huge. We are all human. At the end of the day, we are human. We're gonna have sick days over time. None of us are perfectly healthy for our whole life. If you're working around food, do not come to work if you're sick. That's all I ask. When I worked at McDonald, that was my first job. I had the flu. I was puking, I was yakking up all over. Keep in mind, I worked on a hot grill all day. And I got fired from that McDonald's. The only job I ever technically got fired from. But I got fired for not going in with the flu. And I'm thinking from like the other side of the counter, do you want somebody who's sick as fuck, cooking up your burgers for you? I would not appreciate that.
Not at all. Here's a thought though. If you're working in a store and there's different departments and food is just one of them, evaluate this. If you wake up sick, but you're like, I could still go in. Yeah. Call your manager, see if there's another department that could use you for the day instead of food.
Yep. As a former grocery store manager, I would put you on like grocery because you're touching boxes and not actual product that people are fucking, you know what I'm saying? You're not packing meat up, you know what I'm saying? And wrapping and like you don't have your hands on the stuff. It's on a box, not something that's going in somebody's mouth. That's a big thing, I think, too, with the market the way it is, as far as being an employee market, is the sick days and stuff. Pay attention to that stuff. I know at my job now, currently, my job before, that told me that I needed them more than they needed me, which came back to haunt them because Devin, the guitarist from the Rebellion, actually still works there. He came to me at practice. He's like, "Oh yeah, they said you could come back. They would make you part time." I'm like, "Nah, they don't need me." But that's a big thing now. Like we get where I'm at now, you get 8 sick days a year, which is good. You don't see that very often.
That's
atop of
a lot.
Yeah, atop of that, you get 4 hours of vacation every 2 weeks. So you get a day a month of vacation, 3 weeks in a year.
Oh wow! Oh, to start.
Then
That's really
it goes up to 4 weeks after 5 years. So look at that stuff, because that's your happiness there. That's your vacation time. You think a day, I'm on thirds, so like Fridays don't even count for me. But on thirds, like if I wanted to go on vacation, I would have to save up, 2 months of vacation time. I got 2 extra days. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my job starts at 2 weeks a year of vacation. And I believe, I need to ask about this, but I believe the sick days are separate as well. That's another thing at my last job that weirded me out. The sick days and the vacation time are kind of packed into each other. So if I had 2 weeks of vacation planned and then I started being sick or something, I forget exactly what it was, but after like 2 days of being sick, it starts eating into your vacation time or something like that. And then if you take your full vacation, you get fired.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not okay.
If your job's like that, there's so many jobs out there. And mine isn't even like top tier around here. Like it's kind of average anymore. People are starting to get it, but they have to start getting it because we control that shit now. Because we're the ones telling them to go fuck themselves because they're not hiring the wages or they're not giving you good benefits. And big employers are starting to see that. Remember that. That's a good thing to start your morning. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic and say, hey, go in today and tell your boss to go fuck himself. Keep your options open though if you're not happy. Yeah.
And again, look around. This was something that spread through the store I worked at like crazy. My position as a manager, I was only getting paid like 15 and something an hour. And there was another store I won't name that was literally right down the road that was hiring cashiers at 18.
Yeah.
No brainer.
Yeah.
But then you got to consider, like, for some of those ludicrous, like really high pay, it's not sustainable for very long. Eventually that's going to catch up with the employer. But for now, I mean, eat that shit up.
Well, that's one of the things that job that didn't need me. They kind of emphasized after I left, their pay went up. But it's like, I think they have the thought process of, well, if we pay them more, we could still treat them like shit. And people are standing up to that now. It's not like it used to be before where you just went to work and take it. And that's why that job is like a revolving door for employees. And they sit back and wonder why. We pay you this much. It's like, no, people are getting smart, man. Like with me, I took the $6 pay cut. I'm so much happier.
Yeah. That's rough though. But we've been going a while. I know all you guys have to get to work. I'm a lot of you are probably late because you're still listening to this. So
if you're that dedicated, I commend you.
Yeah. Like you were supposed to be in there a half hour ago. Time to head in. Thank you for listening to the Biscuits and Gravy Morning Show. I'm Beatbox Jake. This is Cody. We'll be doing this every Monday.
7:30.
7:30. We'll be here to hang out with you in the morning. Cheers, everybody.
Much love.
Never stop, never settle. I got Henny all in my cup. I'm on top, I'm on a level, yeah. I'm trying to get to the back. Got it on lock, got it on smash, yeah.